Many of you that have been watching may know that I know that you guys are big fans of the Lexus GX. The past two generations of GX, the GX 470 and the GX 460, have been extremely off-road capable SUVs with luxury accoutrements to slay the Land Rover Defender. Today we are thankfully not far from home looking at the all-new Lexus GX 550. Today I have the Overtrail trim, which I have chosen, but we will go over everything that you would want or need to know about the 2024 GX 550. This GX in particular is a 2024 GX 550 Overtrail Plus. It is a very nice looking color, but my favorite color that Lexus makes on everything, and it's available for the GX, is Nori Green Pearl. I would paint anything I owned in Nori Green Pearl, but this is an all-new third generation for the Lexus GX. Of course, this uses modern Lexus language with their new version of their spindle grille, triple beam LED headlights with the daytime running lights. It's a really good looking truck, and I really have to say you have to look at it in person. I also like the rear view mirrors. When you're sitting inside, this gives you the vibe of the Toyota FJ Cruiser, which I find very interesting. Pricing has yet to be announced for the new GX, but it is available in 6 different trim levels: Premium, Premium Plus, Luxury, Luxury Plus, and Overtrail, Overtrail Plus. You'll know that in the past, the GX has used 2 V8s. First was that 4.7 liter that you could find in every full-size Toyota back in the day, or the 4.6 that was shared in the Lexus LS 460. Things are way different now. So gone is the 4.6 and the 4.7 V8, and now we have a 3.4 liter twin turbocharged V6, which no hybrid, at least as of now, but Lexus is planning to do one a little bit later. In this application, it makes 349 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. This engine is solely paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission that you'll also find in new Lexus and Toyota models, and a full-time four-wheel drive system in this. The Overtrail actually gets the addition of a locking rear diff, but of course, you get multi-terrain select with crawl control and all the off-road goodies that Toyota and Lexus have implemented into their trucks. And of course, just like the Sequoia TRD Pro and the Tundra TRD Pro, MTS is smoother and quieter. Lexus, of course, gives you many wheel and tire packages for various trims of the GX. It has these 33-inch all-terrain tires that are wrapping around 18-inch alloy wheels that are exclusive for the Overtrail trim, but luxury and premium models get different designs of wheel, and you can get up to a 22-inch wheel on the Luxury Plus GX. The GX is still pretty square, but it is interesting. It has this flowing body line that gives it a high butt. Around back, the GX loses its barn door setup that swung out this way, but you get this crazy light bar that all new Lexuses have. I almost forgot. A GX staple, at least the GX 460. The GX 550 gets an opening rear glass, which makes it still practical, and you can have the dogs have a breath while you're going on the trail in this thing. The GX also has a power tailgate. No more swing tailgate, and this one doesn't have the third row. The third row isn't on every single model of the GX. It's optional on the luxury trim. There is a little bit more space back here, but Lexus hasn't revealed cargo figures just yet. But when we have a GX for a week to review, you'll be the first to know. Underneath the floor, there is a bunch of storage, and the spare tire is underneath. Thankfully, Lexus still offers a full-size spare tire. Behind this abscess right here is the trailer hitch and wiring package. GXs can get a built-in trailer brake control module, and they can tow up to 8,000 pounds, but it really depends on what trim level. This thing is actually pretty tall, but as we get into the rear seat of the GX, the first thing that I will say is that the rear doors don't open wide enough. I mean, it's fine for most people, but if you're trying to haul kids in this, which that's what the TX is for, but still, if you're trying to haul kids or big people, it can be a little bit of a complication. Thankfully, Lexus put grab handles in here on the B-pillar and also on the roof to make it easier to get into. But this thing is actually really tall, and as I close the door, it has a nice solid thunk. First thing I notice, it has sunshades in this model, but the rear seat of this one is actually pretty comfortable. The driver's seat is a little bit farther back than my position. I'm 5'9", and I can still fit my feet under the seats. There's some knee indents that give me a nice amount of legroom, and headroom is great as well. Thankfully, all 4 windows in this one are auto up and down, and everything feels really nice back here. Of course, the GX has never been the most extravagant vehicle for second or third row passengers, but this is pretty dang nice. I have air vents back here, the rear seats are heated, only the outboard seats, and also both rear passengers have USB Type-C ports. They really load this thing to the gills. There's also this armrest, which is actually pretty soft. It also has 2 cup holders in it. I would talk about the third row, but this one doesn't have it. But hopefully later on we can see how that third row is. But as a bit of a spoiler, because I have sat in the third row of a GX, well, a new GX, it's about the same. Headroom is okay if you're about my height, about 5'9". Knee room is okay, but it's kind of tight. It's more of the 2.5 row type setup. Sadly, I won't be able to drive the GX today, so that's another incentive to stay tuned for the full GX review. Just like the second row, you have grab handles in the first row to make it easy. The running boards make it easy as well, but if you're an overlander if you just go off-roading like me, they make the back of your pants dirty. But we can look at the new key fob for the GX. Finally, the GX doesn't use the 2010 era Lexus key fob, but it is push button start. Let me close the door actually. Nice solid thunk. Even though these are pre-production models, they still feel really dang good. So the V6, if you're wondering what that sounds like, it sounds just like the V6 that's in the Sequoia and the Tundra, and even the LX. Of course, this one has been tuned individually for itself, but welcome to the interior of the all-new GX 550. It is a bit of a difference, like a big shock for me, because I'm used to the more traditional layout of the GX 460. I do like this, and I welcome this with an open mind. You can see the 3-spoke leather-wrapped steering wheel. Feels very nice. It's Lexus's current steering wheel. It has an assortment of buttons on it. The left side, those buttons control the audio functions and also some Bluetooth functions. On the right side, those buttons control the cruise control functions and some more audio functions as well. Overall impressions of the interior are high. Things feel great. Soft touch materials all throughout with nice leather stitching. This thing really feels nice inside. This one also has a heads-up display. Now, as we look up at the gauges, it's a fully digital display. It looks very good. There is some configuration to it, and it does change depending on what drive mode you're in, but you can't do that much. It looks like you can, but you can't do that much in it. But I do have to say I appreciate the simplicity of the gauges. If we look at the center display, this uses Toyota and Lexus's new 14-inch display found on the RX, the TX, a lot of new Lexuses nowadays. The only complaint that I will say again about this connected services system, otherwise it's really good. I've had no complaints with it. I just wish there was an actual home screen if you were in the car's infotainment. I personally use Apple CarPlay, so it doesn't bother me that much, but it would be nice to see that. Besides that, it's actually very responsive, very snappy. Like, it's really given me no trouble in the past vehicles that I've experienced it in. It has dual zone climate control, but the climate controls are embedded into the screen. GXs have always done that though, so that's nothing new. If you put the car into reverse, this has a backup camera with guidance lines and a 360 view camera. You also have an augmented reality type camera too, that you can kind of see what's under you if you're going off-roading, but it kind of just feeds as you're going. It's interesting. Below this screen, you can see there's 2 USB Type-C ports. One is just for charging and one is for charging and data. There's also a 12-volt power outlet, which came in handy to charge my microphone pack. There's also the drive modes down here, and also the different MTS and crawl control features for off-roading. Hopefully we'll also be able to take a GX off-road in the near future as well. That would be really cool. But you can see the shifter for the 10-speed auto. Behind the shifter you have the 4-wheel drive controls. There's also the center locker and the rear locker for this one as well. But you could go into 4 high and also 4 low. Next to that whole setup are 2 cup holders, which are actually reasonably sized. There's a wireless charger behind that, and also this one has a cool box in place of the center console. The armrest itself is actually pretty soft, pretty comfortable, but again, things really feel nice in here. There's this nice pocket on the dash as well. Now, the seats, they're actually very comfortable. Thankfully, GXs have always had really comfortable seats. They offer a lot of support, a lot of back and shoulder support. I appreciate the shoulder support, but both seats offer full power adjustments, heating and cooling. That's not standard, but the cooling function works very well in this model. You can even get on the plus trims of the Overtrail and luxury version massaging seats. That's pretty impressive. As we look up top, this has LEDs throughout the interior. I'm surprised I don't see a digital rearview mirror, but again, pre-production. This one has a single pane moonroof, but you can option a pano moonroof in your GX 550. Visibility is actually still pretty good as well, but unfortunately we cannot drive it, but you have to like, comment, and subscribe in order to see a driving video of the GX. Now friends, this sadly brings us to the end of this time with this GX. If it was a nori green one, I would try to be putting it in my pocket to take it home. But I hope you all enjoyed this quick first look at the all-new 2024 GX 550. I am so excited to see these on the roads, and I'm so excited to eventually drive one day. Boy, it'll be a real treat. I'm very curious how that V6 will be, because I'm a bit of a V8 lover myself, but I have an open mind and I'm very excited. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe in order to see future driving impressions and off-roading and all kinds of things with the all-new GX. But I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, peeps.